In a way, there is a mountain, rising tall towards skylight and dressed in pines. It casts a shadow, and in that shadow, a darkness falls and a cold sets in. And for all the winter months, the people cry for it to end. But for years and years, it does not end. The winter stays, and the people cry. And they cry so long that the wind becomes filled with their howls and carried away to lands far off past the shadow. And the people there hear their howls, and they weep openly. And these people were so sad, but none were sadder than the singer Orfeu, who howled all night in harmony with the distant cries from the shadow. It seems that the shadow casts not down from the mountain, but the mountain up from the shadow. It exudes a chill and dilates as it devours all warmth. By the light of a candle may no scholar read, for even an ember will be swallowed up. The cries that fill the night manifest that precipitate, which saturates the air and earth. It is that heavy mist and rain which is too cold to freeze. It is those brumal pines whence Atej, the gray fox, emanates to tap a young scion. Her eyes blaze a white which is both scorching and frigid. Her tongue is arcane, yet through that blinding gaze, that muted paleness like the moon, her edict is unmistakable.
Depart now and be carried by this bitter gale, beyond the boundless umbra. Find Orfeu, the breath of dawn, the one whose cries dissolve into the howling wind, and in marrying the wind are divorced from the dissonance of the choir that is the people. That is the voice which will herald extrication from this ceaseless midnight.
Theodorus, green-eyed, heard these words thundering across the mountains. He told his uncle Theodosius and his father Theonicius, son of Theoleon, son of Theo, son of Dio, son of Leo, son of Matiolda, daughter of the Most High, what Atej had said. He spoke with a fiery tongue.
All praises to the gray fox, who has given us life and seed in these dreary lands, under the shadow of the mountain which devours all warmths.
But a fiery tongue burns the wind and calls ill upon his mother's kingdom. His father told him not to go, and he went back to bed. Atej visited him in a dream. Orfeu, belle of dawn, stood there, crying, howling, and dissolving the wind. Upon waking, Theodorus found his father and uncle transformed into pigs, his mother a pike, and everyone else in the village maple trees, which would forever turn red as the days grew colder. He took up his staff and walked to the north, where the south was full of evil men, but he knew not what lay to the north beyond the sisterhood of trees. Miranda warily eyed the newcomer Theodorus as he repeated his tale of the transformation that his neglected gods Atej and the Grey Fox had wrought upon his people. In the northern land of Aul, they found what prosperity they had by relying on themselves. They did not waste time offering praise to invisible beings.
How did you know the pigs were your father and uncle, and the pike was your mother?
She asked him when the story finished. Theodorus insisted that he knew, but could offer no details that would convince Miranda. Her grandfather, a wise old man, remarked that his own grandfather had known of the village in the shadow of the mountain, as a deserted settlement, even in his time. Miranda considered the wanderer, Theodorus, of the land of Aul, weighed down by his dark memories. The gods Atej and the Grey Fox had not been kind. For without the smoke and soot of burnt sacrifices, they could see their human children all too clearly. What they saw, they did not like. Human mirrors, not as fierce or majestic as the royal images. The great Atej wrought the transformation of Theodorus' people and drove this traveler to the southern lands.
As the marvelous feast grew to a feverish pitch and then gave way to the heavy silence of nighttime, Theodorus was approached by his host, Miranda.
You are a long way from home, traveler. What drives you to our lands?
She inquired.
The gods are punishing my people, causing great pain and misery. Atej bears down hard through the night, while the Grey Fox steals our children for food in the woods. I must find a way to scare the gods away, he replied.
Miranda's face lit up and let out an involuntary chuckle.
A small human will never frighten a great warrior like Atej. However, there is a way to rid them from your lands. Their power is greatest in the shadows. You must steal the light from the sun god Ao. If you bring the light back to your village, it will repel the gods who seek to punish you.
How do I capture the sun's light?
Theodorus responded.
You won't know until after you've done it.
Miranda spoke before pausing to smile.
I hope you will complete your journey.
Miranda's countenance was warm and kind, and Theodorus reveled in it for just a moment, his belly full of delicacies.
You should get some sleep.
She advised her valiant guest.
I'll show you to your room. We'll take the short way.
The two made way down a narrow stair, their path lit only by Miranda's torch. The stair gave way to a wide but shallow stone corridor where one must tilt one's head and buckle one's knees to move forward. If not for his crooked head, however, Theodorus would have missed a small port that engrossed him. The torch's illuminating tongue seeped into the dim room as if the darkness drew in the light. Miranda stood steadfast while he entered the candlelit chamber. He was able to lift his head in the place, and before his eyes could adjust, he was overwhelmed with its perfume. By the tiny lights, he was able to make out stems and fruits of dried plants, their faded colors starting to shine through. He glanced up to see strung peppers dangling over his head, and could taste their heat as his vision fully adjusted to reveal the grimacing figure of a wiry gray old woman, sitting in the corner with a young handmaiden, cock at her side.
I'm sorry to intrude.
His eyes met the young girl's. Her beaming gaze was a touch of luster in the dull room, and a reminder of how young he himself was. How could an urchin like him capture the sun's light from the god Aul and ward the darkness haunting his home? Spilling with elation, the girl scampered over to a heap of herbs next to him, recovering a small relic out of the cacophony of potpourri, and doing so with such deftness that one would insist that there was some order hidden therein, which only some may see. Quickly, she snatched his hand and placed in it a flower on a fine thread, shyly fixing on him, her eyes a pair of vast, frozen lakes. Her eyes reflected the hammer and popsicle hanging from the ceiling. The old woman gave Theodorus a cookie sheet. The young woman gave him bowls of flour, sugar, butter, chocolate chips, milk, salt, oats, and a scarf.
Make me cookies!
She said. The old woman smiled. Theodorus mixed the ingredients, stirring and stirring for hours. He set warm coals beneath the stove to warm it. He laid out 11 cookies on the tray each time he put it in the oven, repeated 7 times. He was tired and cold. He laid down by the fire to sleep and stay warm. The old woman was no longer a woman, but the god Aul. Theodorus had been tricked by the allure of domesticity and will never stand on his own 2 feet again. Aul flew off, holding the younger woman in his arms. The frozen lakes in her eyes ignited. He'll never capture the sun's light now. Ha 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 ha. Miranda heard all this from the top of the stairs and rushed back into the room to see the untended oven catch Theodorus on fire. No, she said. And she tried to put out the fire with the liquid sitting on the stove. But no, it was liquor. She ran from the inn as it was engulfed in flame. left her heart. A year later, a chili pepper plant sprouted from the ashes. The plant was Theodorus. He laughed to himself. He knew how to catch the sun's lights.